Hi, good afternoon. It is Monday, April 29th. Um, Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. If you have found me on your feed, I'm delighted. I'm a brand new channel, so I'm still, you know, finding people who want to hear what I have to say, and I'm honored to be doing that. So I have questions today. I have a lot of questions today about Trump and what is going on in that White House and what is going on politically. So what I thought I would do is do just some quick 4-card layouts on a few different subjects and topics. So the first thing that I want to take a look at is Joe Biden and his announcement that he is running for the presidential nomination. Now, I have to tell you that for a couple of months now, I have had a very strong intuitive feeling that I was seeing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as a president, vice president team. And if that happens, I'm seeing some really good things. Now, it's very possible that the energy could shift between now and then and things could happen. But as of right now, the energy I'm picking up is very favorable to a Joe Biden, Kamala Harris team making it to the White House. So I'm going to shuffle the cards a couple more times, and I'm going to cut them and lay them out. And let's see what Spirit and Universe has to say about Joe Biden and his run for the presidency. Let's take it down here and see what we can see. And one more. Okay, and we're going to cut. You know, part of the reason that I think that Joe Biden has such a strong chance is just kind of makes sense. This is the thing. As the next little while unfolds, the next 12 months or so, Americans are going to get some real clarity about how much damage Trump has done. Not only domestically in terms of, cutting this and slashing that and, that kind of behavior. But he has done a lot of damage internationally. He's created a lot of unease with, his tariffs and his demands for this, and he wants this. And people just globally really are looking forward to this situation settling down and returning to some sort of normalcy. Part of what makes Joe Biden attractive is that he can hit the ground running. He does not, he's not going to have a steep a learning curve. And I think that he would be, because of the experience he has, he would be able to jump into international affairs and try and smooth some of those waters. And you have Kamala Harris, who I think would be an incredible and very, very active vice president. I can see a situation where there's a bit more balance of the distribution of power, maybe not power, but of goals and objectives in that kind of a connection between the two of them. So now, just for those of you who maybe don't know or didn't hear, or I am Canadian, so I have aside from really strong opinions that Trump is just like a goof and needs to get out of office, beyond that I have no real imperative one way or the other, because it's a political system that doesn't involve me or my country. So that's sort of where we're at there. I'm going to put out these cards now that I've done my little monologue. And so we'll see what they have to say about Joe Biden and the run for president. Let's take a look here. Okay, so his first card is Temperance. So that's, lovely. It talks about balance, patience, kind of moving slowly and carefully and creating what you're looking for. And you will see that temperance is as very, in this deck, illustrated as an angel. So you can literally take that as angelic support, helping to keep the situation balanced and moving forward. It is fluid, and it looks like there is going to be some good ground made up. He's going to be able to push this forward fairly well. Okay, we've got money coming in for him, and okay, we've got money coming in for him, and so that looks balanced. It looks as if he's going to be taking donations from a broad range of people and areas. He's going to be getting some, there should be an announcement soon in terms of money he's raised. I know he did amazing on his first day. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't an update in the next couple of days. Now, this card is a card of worry, and I'm not reading it really all that negatively as much as I feel like. He has a lot on his head. He has a lot of things that first of all, he has a very long political life already that is going to be examined and picked apart. So, he has a lot to answer to. He has a lot of things to prove. We've all, you guys have already had one sort of elderly president who's in office now, and there's real concerns about just mental health, physical health, when you're getting up there in age. And so I think that's also one of the concerns, not that I'm seeing any health issues, but just one of the concerns that, you have in terms of taking on such an arduous task at this point in his life. I'm going to pull one more card to just get some clarification to see if we can figure out what exactly it is that Joe Biden seems to be so stressed about. Okay, so he has the Hangman. Now, the Hangman is an interesting card to act as a clarifier for this card, because the Hangman talks about two things primarily. One is looking at things from a different perspective, and one is almost a moment of sacrifice, sort of doing something for the greater good. So you can absolutely see where both of those elements would apply here. I am not in a position to make a prediction. The election is way too far in advance. All I can do is read the current energy. So it looks like Joe Biden is going to be making some headway out on the election trail, and I will just sit back and kind of watch and see how he does. I'm not likely to do a lot of readings at this point on the different candidates. I just feel it's kind of too early, and unless something really significant happens with one of them, and I kind of want to drill down on that, I'm not likely to do readings on a bunch of the different candidates. Not at this point. It's just too early. Okay, so the next thing I want to take a look at is the NRA, because we've just had another shooting, another hate crime shooting in California this weekend. Devastating. There's just no need for this kind of ongoing violence and this energy, this hateful energy, and the gun situation is just kind of nutty out there, and there needs to be a bit of a balance. So let's just see what's going on with the NRA. They've had their name muddied a little bit in the last year or so, and let's just see what things look like for them in the next little bit. Okay, well, they're definitely trying to balance things, and they're definitely having some financial issues. So we've heard about that over the weekend, the fact that there's some significant money problems there, and they're not getting the kind of revenue that they used to get, because people are getting a little bit tired of almost the militant stance that they have taken. what their organization represented years ago, from what I understand, is dramatically different from what it represents now. And I think I have heard that even people who, would be or were members of the NRA are not supporting them at this time because they're, what's going on with them is not looking good. Okay, so right now this is what's happening: is the NRA felt that it was in a position of strength. It felt that it had the momentum to sort of keep this real push going, and this real emphasis on, what is it, your Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. They really felt that they had the moral high ground, and that, they had the situation wrapped up. It didn't work out so well for them. They've just been getting a little bit too muddy. This card can also represent quid pro quo. So it's a bit of a, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Clearly that has been going on. I think that the NRA has gotten dirty and muddied. They are a little bit too interconnected with Russia in ways that you can't quite sort all of that out just yet. So they're having a little bit of a problem, and they really are trying to get back to a previous image, an image of not being quite so radical and driven. I'm not seeing that that's going to be particularly successful. I'm not feeling that it's going to be particularly successful. I want to pull another card on this one and just see if we can get some insight into what's going on. Yeah, they're really trying to clean up that situation, and they might be able to turn the corner a little bit. They've got some very strong cards here. They might be able to turn the corner. Do I think that they will be able to change their image fast enough in order to be really, really super active in a positive way for the 2020 election? Probably not. But at this point anyways, there definitely looks like behind the scenes and quietly they are trying to straighten things out, maybe rebalance their image. So let's move on. The next thing, I'm just going to touch base with Trump and see how he's doing. As I sort of zero in on his energy, it is very erratic. It is short-tempered. He feels agitated and angry. It does not feel like a strong, powerful energy. It feels very, very angry, stressful. It's not feeling like a clean or clear energy. So let's take a look. Okay, so there's a lot of fighting and scraping and arguing that's going on, and this is the overarching card for the next few cards that are going to get put out. So this is the general feeling that surrounds him. This is the environment that is surrounding him. It is squabbling, it is fighting, it is backstabbing. Definitely does not feel like it is. And the interesting thing is that he is not only causing that behavior, but he is actually on the receiving end of that behavior. He's being impacted by it both ways. Of course, what you sow, you reap. The energy you send out is what comes back to you. And this divisiveness and this fighting and this pitting people against each other is actually starting to take a toll. And what it's doing is it's kind of pulling him in a bunch of different directions. And so he's not feeling exactly safe and balanced. He really wants the government to do what he wants the government to do. It's just as simple as that. And he just really feels like, he's right and he's not making any mistakes, and that, things should just be done the way he wants them done. And I just don't see that that's actually going to happen for him. I really don't. I think that he's going to be coming up against, he's going to be walking off a couple of high cliffs if he's not careful. We definitely have some secrets coming to the forefront. he definitely has a feeling or a sense that he would really like things to go back the way they were before this whole election thing. He misses his old life, and he misses the sort of unquestioned power that he had in that life, or that, experience. He's finding it very, very difficult to understand and accept the fact that as president, his life is under a microscope. He just doesn't like that. And he's having a very hard time, so his reaction to that is, well, I'm just going to fight everything. I'm just going to push everything away. I don't care what you offer me. I'm not going to be happy with it. And he's not understanding on some really basic level that that is just not behavior that is going to take him very far. There is, a lot of, he's trying to figure out how to collect and bring in a harvest. And this has to do with his own personal money and finance. This has nothing to do with America or, its budget or its deficit. This is about Trump trying to figure out how to line his pockets or line the family pockets while there is so much scrutiny on him. And that has him really agitated. You have the devil here. So you're talking about being trapped in behaviors, whether it is, anger, whether there is an addiction issue, whether there is just doing everything backwards and against sort of common sense and against, just a human and compassionate and inclusive behavior. It is just completely beyond his ability. It just is. And you have the Chariot here. And in this case, it's talking about very slow movement forward. He is going to continue kind of fighting everybody and trying to put up roadblocks. And I really don't see where that's actually going to get him very far, because at some point, those defensive walls that he has put up are not going to hold everything back. They're just simply not. There's too many investigations going on around him, and there's too many people who are real serious about these investigations. I have said before on other videos, and I continue to feel this, that it is going to be the investigations that are coming out of the Southern District of New York, out of the state. Those state investigations are going to cause him a problem, as are some of the internal government, like oversight investigations. That's going to be a problem. So there's a lot of stuff coming at him, and I, really don't see that he's going to survive it all that well. I at this point, I'm still not sure whether he's going to leave office early, but I absolutely don't see him. He's not going to win in 2020. I'm not even sure at this point if he's running in 2020. So I'm going to give it one more shuffle and just see what else we can find out about Trump, let's say in the month of, let's do it from now, so the last days of April to the June 20th, June 21st, to the summer solstice. Let's kind of see what the energy is going to be like for him for the next, I guess that would be about 6 weeks. So let's just take a look and see what we can see about that. Okay, well, he's starting off with death. Okay, so you're talking about the ending, to begin a different chapter, a different way of life. So this certainly would be, confirmation that he's not long for that office. Very rarely will I see this as a literal death, but it definitely, I see it in this instant as a death of power, of prestige, of any emotion that's sort of ego-driven. He is experiencing a decrease in that kind of energy. He's not feeling as powerful, and that's where you see this lashing out. So he's definitely got some, oh my goodness. Okay, so not only does he have the death card, but it's now followed with the judgment card. And the judgment card very often is literally you are being judged, and it has karmic connotations, so very much a reap what you sow. So this isn't looking great for him. It's definitely looking like he's in trouble. I'm very slow moving. This is not going to, he's going to continually be trying to change the topic and shift the attention here and there. And he's going to discover as these next 6 weeks unroll that the attention is not going to shift quite so quickly. He's going to be saying crazy things and doing crazy things. And the attention, he's not going to be able to distract as quickly or as efficiently as he has in the past. People are starting to understand that a lot of what was in that Mueller report is dead on. They're starting to recognize that he is a danger, and they're starting to recognize that he is not taking the security and the safety of the country he is supposed to be guarding at all seriously. So the average person is just not likely to get really distracted by his behavior. And we have the Knight of Cups here, so you're talking about emotions being a little bit to the fore. So what I'm seeing here is you're going to see a more emotional Trump. He's going to be acting out a little bit more. So quickly, there's one more situation that I want to take a quick look at, and that would be William Barr. I don't know exactly what is going on with him, but he definitely seems and appears to have decided that his job is to protect Trump, and he appears to be prepared to do that. Definitely, he is suffering a decrease in his reputation. He is going to experience a lessening of respect, a sense of authority. It's just not going to go well for him. You know, people were giving him kind of the benefit of the doubt, and even after the 18-page, letter that was a job interview, people were still kind of prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt. People are not feeling very generous towards him at this point going forward. So let's just take a bit of a look and see what on earth is going on with William Barr and what can we expect. Okay, there you go. You've got the quid pro quo card there, right there. So this is talking about you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. The problem is he's in bed here with Trump, and Trump doesn't care about anybody, and Trump is not going to protect him. So he's kind of putting a lot of stuff on the line, foolishly believing that, oh no, he is the one person that Trump won't turn against. Guess what, buddy? He will. That's just who and what he does. You've got you upside down, you've got you embattled, and you've got embattled. Okay, so he tried to shift the world's perception about what was in that report. He wanted to get out there and let people know what was in it from his perspective, and he wanted to shape that narrative. And, he managed to do it for a couple of weeks, but it has now boomeranged on him. It has completely backfired. And he has two cards here where he's got the Seven of Wands and the Nine of Wands. This is a man who is embattled. He is defending himself. He's taken a couple of really serious hits. And I'm aware right now, it's Monday, and he's supposed to be testifying on Thursday to the Jerry Nadler committee. And, that's all up in the air right now, and he's saying he doesn't want to go, and they're threatening to subpoena him. And, he really is just sort of single-handedly diminishing the reputation of the Justice Department, and that is not going to go well for him. He has the Wheel of Fortune card sitting here, and unfortunately, I see a continuing turn of fortunes for him. It is not going to go well, any credibility he had going in, he has now, you know, lost. And the people who are defending him, like the Lindsey Grahams of the world, just look kind of foolish. So I'm hoping that the information that I have shared with you is helpful, and I thank you very much for coming to. Well, what a surprise! For finding my website, I'm very grateful and appreciative that you have found me. And if you have watched this and enjoyed it and find it helpful, please like and subscribe. I very, very much appreciate that. In the meantime, take care. I think I'm going to try to do a political reading probably once every 7 to 10 days. I know there's a lot going on, but I don't feel that it helps to sort of feed the frenzy of it. I'm wanting, you know, the messages that I send out to be a little bit more reassuring and calming, so that, you know, we have a bit of a handle on kind of what's unrolling ahead of us and before us, but not sort of a constant feed of it, because I just think that it just increases a level of anxiety that makes it very difficult to fight against. Far better to not be anxious, but to be proactive and productive. Do something to connect with people who think the way you do. Get involved with political parties. Do whatever it does that's going to calm you down, make you feel empowered, and make you feel like you have some control going forward. That is super, super important. So, once again, thank you so very much for finding me at Soulprint, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.